I stood in the courthouse parking garage staring at a folded piece of paper in my shaking hands, a temporary restraining order filed against me, and I couldn't breathe. My phone kept buzzing in my pocket. Unknown numbers. A detective. My wife's lawyer. And her last text still glowing on the screen like poison. Don't come near me again. The court knows everything. But I knew the truth. Because just 12 hours earlier, I was in our Chicago apartment watching her walk in at 2:17 a.m., fixing her hair like she hadn't just been somewhere she wasn't supposed to be, with someone she wasn't supposed to be. And now I was the accused. The abuser. The threat. Something inside me snapped right there in that cold, concrete silence. How did I become the villain in my own life? If you genuinely enjoy our stories, please subscribe to the channel, tell us where you're from, and what time it is right now. It's always fascinating to know how far our story flows that I used to think betrayal came with obvious signs. But mine came quietly, wrapped in perfume I didn't buy her. My wife, Vanessa, worked with a senior project manager at a logistics firm in downtown Chicago. I trusted her completely. Maybe that was my first mistake. It started with small things. Late meetings, muted phone notifications, a second coffee mug that didn't match ours. Then one night, my discovery came from a message preview on her iPad. Last night was worth the risk. Same time tomorrow. Same time tomorrow. That's when unease turned into something heavier. Something wasn't right. I didn't confront her immediately. Instead, I checked everything. Phone backups, location history, credit card receipts. And there it was, pattern gaps between 11 p.m. and 2 a.m., always near the same downtown hotel on Wacker Drive. My chest tightened every time I saw it, but I still didn't want to believe it. Denial is a strange kind of loyalty. The night I followed her, it was raining. I stayed across the street in my car, engine off, watching the hotel entrance glow like a stage. At 11:43 p.m., she walked out, but not alone. Her manager, Derek. Confident smile. Hand too familiar on her lower back. I remember gripping the steering wheel so hard my knuckles went white. That's when it hit me. Everything I thought I had was already gone. I didn't storm in. I didn't scream. I went home first. Because something in her behavior didn't match simple cheating anymore. She was too calm, too rehearsed. And I was about to find out why. The next morning, she acted normal. Coffee. Light kiss on the cheek. You're overworking yourself lately. Overworking myself. Like I was the problem. Then at 9:17 a.m., 2 officers knocked on our apartment door. And everything collapsed. They handed me the restraining order. Vanessa had claimed I'd been emotionally and physically abusive for months. False statements. Fabricated incidents. Carefully structured lies. My name was now in a legal file I never saw coming. And somewhere behind that, I knew Derek was smiling. Denial didn't survive that day. I called my lawyer immediately. He said something I'll never forget. Someone is building a legal shield around themselves. You're not just being cheated on, you're being erased. Erased. That word stayed with me. I moved out within 48 hours, staying at a small place near River North. I stopped contacting her directly, legally forced silence. But silence gave me clarity. And clarity gave me direction. I stopped reacting. I started documenting. Every call, every message, every timestamp. And then I found the crack in her perfect story. One night, I pulled archived security footage from our building's management system under the excuse of package theft investigation. There it was. Vanessa, leading Derek into our building when I was out of town 2 weeks earlier. But what mattered more was what happened after. They weren't careful. Not anymore. Arrogance always leaks evidence. I built my case quietly. A private investigator. Subpoena-ready logs. Hotel records. Work schedule inconsistencies. And most importantly, witness statements from Vanessa's own co-worker who was tired of covering for them. Piece by piece, the truth stopped being hidden. It started becoming dangerous. Then came the trap. I requested a court hearing to challenge the restraining order. Vanessa showed up confident. Derek sat behind her like armor. Her lawyer painted me as unstable, obsessive, emotionally volatile. And I let them talk. Because I had one thing they didn't expect. Proof. Not opinions. Not accusations. Receipts. Hotel logs matching Derek's corporate card. Security footage timestamped. Workplace emails confirming off-the-clock meetings. And the message that broke everything open. Vanessa texting him. Once the order is granted, he won't be able to fight back. The judge went silent. That silence lasted longer than any shouting ever could. The restraining order was dismissed. Case notes were amended. And suddenly, the narrative flipped. Vanessa wasn't the victim. She was the architect of a lie. Derek's company launched an internal investigation the same week. He was suspended before the month ended. Vanessa tried to speak to me once after court. I didn't let her finish. There's nothing left to say, I told her. And I meant it. The destruction wasn't loud. No dramatic breakdown. No public explosion. Just consequences arriving one by one. Her career stalled. His reputation collapsed. Their carefully built world started to rot in silence. And I didn't celebrate. Because revenge doesn't feel like winning. It feels like distance. Months later, I stood outside the same courthouse again. This time alone. No panic. No shaking hands. Just clarity. Vanessa tried to rewrite me as the villain. But the truth had already spoken for itself. And the court believed it. That was enough. I walked back to my car, the city noise fading behind me. For the first time in a long time. I wasn't looking over my shoulder. I wasn't proving anything anymore. I was just done. Completely, quietly done. The end.